Hello, welcome back. Welcome to Let's Talk Tournament Basketball, NCAA. It's been amazing the things that have gone on, and I hope you're all doing wonderful in your brackets and the bets you've made, and I hope you've made some key bets. But if you're betting on a few of those Pac-12 teams who we were wrong about, that we said they wouldn't make it past the second round, some good action in that Pac-12. We know one Pac-12 for sure is going to the...
Are you French? Why do you say we?
Okay, me.
No,
sorry,
no,
bro.
no. Speak for yourself.
Me. If you watched last week's show, I know most of you did because we had a lot of good followers and I'm sure you made some good bets. You go against me every week. I figured it out. Anyways, Pac-12, wow.
Yeah.
A quarter of the teams in the final 16. Sweet 16, baby, this week.
Yeah, to see the first 64, they actually went undefeated, and and on to the next. It's cool to see teams up for the challenge. Like a Syracuse.
Yeah.
Like they're not necessarily the best when it comes to playing during the season, but guess what? When tournament time, win or go home, and to just see them perform the way they do, or Oregon State. Right now, it's very
playing
surprising.
Like beasts.
They, in a sense, they won their conference tournament, which I was all season long. I'm like, some of the conferences were gonna cancel their tournament, and I'm like, no, because that's how some teams will get in.
Yeah.
And in a sense, they got in, and they're playing incredible. It's good to see Gonzaga continue to play the way they're playing. Michigan. Juwan Howard, he's doing his thing there.
Yeah.
And it's not like they're just barely winning. They're playing well.
There's some teams that are playing really well. I mean, the final 16 is going to be a lot of compelling games. We had some blowouts. I mean, there were several blowouts, and we didn't do so bad. I mean, you look at, three of the top four, the number one teams, they're still in it.
Yeah.
And you still got Michigan, you still got Gonzaga, you still got Baylor. You got a team like Alabama that we said watch out for Houston and Alabama, by the way.
We called it. You heard it here first.
So we didn't do so bad.
No, not at all. And
my greatest joy of the tournament has been USC. I grew up in LA, a big USC fan, and the way those Mobley brothers played and their father's coaching there. I mean, they beat Kansas bad. I don't care if Kansas was not mentally into it. They didn't look mentally in it. But SC put it on, a big name school with some pretty. Number 3, think about that. In number 3, SC beat them real bad. I don't know if you watched the game. I hope you all watched that game. SC looked prolific.
It wasn't a squeak by a last minute. It was they won convincingly, and that's what you want.
They were up by 20 the whole game or more. They ended up winning by 34.
Like, this is what you want out of your team going into the next round. It's like, okay, let's build up on that. It's like. But you see SC right now. You're like, how much more can we build on this? Because did we peak too early?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that teams are finding that having to guard a way to stop the Mobley brothers is tough. Evan and Isaiah.
But they open it up. They open it up for the guards when
they did
the way
they're
play.
They're so worried about Evan Mobley in the middle, who they say is going to be the number 2 draft pick. We're so worried about that they're hitting the guards outside on the wings, and they're hitting those threes. And that's the key. If SC keeps hitting those threes, nobody's going to beat them.
No.
Because they got such a presence in the middle with those two brothers. And the older brother, Isaiah, he stepped up. He's a sophomore, Evan's a freshman. But they've been impressive. They surprised me. Also, UCLA. I mean, UCLA, they look like a complete basketball team. UCLA's biggest problem is they have to play Alabama now. Alabama is complete from down low, up top, free throws, defense. Alabama is going to be tough to beat. I think it's the end of UCLA's road. But, hey, who knows? UCLA's been playing great. Oregon State, what a surprise. Would never have been in the tournament if they didn't win the conference tournament. As you said, thank God they had a conference tournament because they got in.
And they're doing their thing like we belong. And, you see the cream rise to the top. And, it's good to actually see these Cinderella stories, and this is what we don't have when it comes to football. But in March, I love this with basketball.
It's a great tournament.
We get to see these Cinderella stories, like we have Oral Roberts right now.
Look at that. Chicago, Illinois.
Yes.
Who thought Syracuse would go this far?
No.
And all of a sudden, his.
It's like a coach's dream. Especially like to be able to coach as a dad, to be able to coach your son, and to see them doing it on a high level.
Yeah.
In a tournament right now,
His
and
son
making
was
things
awesome.
happen. And they just had an interview on Dan Patrick, and just they're going back and forth, and you can see the genuine, like, there's a difference between dad and coach, and they were able to put the switch on and off. And it's one of those things where he said, like, when I mess up, I expect to get yelled at just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I want to not mess up. So it was cool to see their dynamic, and it's not just Jim Boeheim, this big time coach, and
one of the best ever.
Buddy, coming up, and it's like, oh, daddy's a big time coach. No, it's like father and son, and he's doing his thing. Love it.
God, he had a great shooting game. His son Buddy couldn't miss. I mean, Syracuse, he carried him. He was the guy. He was the reason they won that game. I mean, he just shooting all over the court, and he was shooting. He was, like Lillard on the logo. He was a Lillard logo guy. He was shooting on the logo.
And he said basically he has the green light to do it. He's a shooter. Coach Boeheim said, when you have shooters like him, you give them the green light. You expect them to make smart shots, and if they got it, they're gonna take it.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, there's some real good teams left in the tournament. I look at it as when we talked about this, and it really came true. Great coaching really shines through in college basketball. And there's some great coaches left in the tournament. You know what I mean? I've been real impressed with a lot of these teams. This coach Oates out at Alabama, he looks like a real good coach. He told me before the last game we need to put up 40 threes. 40 threes. I think they hit 19. But Alabama looks like the best team to me.
They look like the real deal. But we cannot discount Gonzaga. They've
done nothing wrong, and they got a great coach. Mark Few's a great coach.
I'm watching them, and I'm like, I'm trying to find holes. I'm trying to find holes in.
They're not there
because I'm like, something is wrong with this team. I want to see it, and I couldn't pinpoint it.
Gonzaga looks great.
Let's see what they can do.
Baylor looks good. I mean, as I said, Alabama looks good. SC, UCLA. I mean, all these teams, Loyola Chicago, they got that big kid in the middle. Man, he's a good ball player, and everything runs through him. He facilitates. So Loyola's going to be tough to beat. Yeah, they really are. I think that Houston's going to be tough to beat. They're well coached. Calvin Sampson. There's just so many good coaches left here, and it's going to be fun. I mean, who you like to win it all? I mean, I know we're going to go through every game, and we probably should get to that. But
so I have 3 brackets that I filled out, and actually 4, 1 for the women's and 3 for the men, because there was just so much more. I expected so many more upsets on the male side than the female side. I have Alabama winning it all. So I'm gonna go with Alabama. They're just been so strong, and just the way they're playing right now, I think they can really match up with Gonzaga and knock them out when it comes down to it. And being in a 2 spot, put them in prime position, because usually the number 1 spot doesn't win it on a regular. So the 2 spots usually where it comes out of, and Alabama is just right there.
Yeah, Alabama looks really good. I mean, they're loaded with players. It's Michigan looks good. I mean, and I think Livers is going to be back this week.
I want to see how they play against Florida State. If they play, because they need to. I just don't want it to be a fluke. They're lovable. That team is lovable the way they're playing. They're playing with so much heart. I just don't want to fall in love, and then the next game is disappointing. So I'm still waiting. I like them, but I don't love them yet.
I don't think there's a fluke team in here. I think that it's going to be good basketball. I think there's going to be very, very competitive games. The one blowout might be Gonzaga and Creighton. That could be tough.
But you never know.
I'm leaning towards Florida State to beat Michigan. I like, again, well coached. There's some really, and I'm a guy, as you know, I look at 2 things in the tournament. Your ability to be well coached and to follow the game plan, and down the stretch, your ability to make free throws. And I've really seen it. A lot of these teams are really improved. Teams were fouling at the end, and these guys were making their free throws, and it was fun. That was a lot of games to watch. I know you all watched a lot of those games. I mean, so much basketball from Thursday through Monday. You know, we started with the 4 play-ins on Thursday, and we went all the way through Monday. I found myself finding a reason to sit down, and I watched a lot of basketball, which I like to do. It was fun. We're down to the final 16. Thanks for checking out our ideas last week and what we did, and a lot of it was good. Some of it was bad. Most of it was okay. But this week we're going to give you. It's a lot easier with 16 teams. We're going to give you some winners and go through it quickly. But thanks for liking us. Thanks for watching us. Thanks for sharing us and watching us all at the different social media sites. We appreciate it. But let's try to help everybody out. Let's try to help our audience out and give us some viable wins. We'll start Villanova Baylor.
I think
Baylor's favored by what?
-6. Yeah, I like usually I would go with Villanova, but I'm gonna stick with Baylor with this game. I just think that they're playing out with all cylinders on right now, and I just think that it's gonna be a tough game, but Baylor will win.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good game. Villanova is so ready. They're always ready for tournament time. They're very well coached. Very, very well coached.
And I like Big East teams
well
too.
Coached. It's gonna be a good game.
Yeah.
Again, who are you leaning towards there?
It's Baylor. I generally like Big East teams because they tend to be very scrappy, and all season long they're usually beating up on each other. So during tournaments they tend to go further in the tournaments. And Villanova, it's just I'm gonna stick
Maybe
with.
if they had their best player Gillespie, it would.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick
out.
I'm gonna stick with Baylor on this.
You know what? I think Baylor will win, but I don't think they'll cover the 6 points. So I'm going to take Villanova. I'm going to take Baylor to win, but I believe it's going to be a 1 or 2 point game. I'm going to take Villanova and the 6 points. I think it's way too many points. It's going to be a competitive game. How about Arkansas? Oral Roberts.
I'm going to go with Arkansas as far as winning, but I don't think it's going to be by 11 points.
11.5. Wow. I think, in my opinion, Arkansas will blow them out. I think it'll be more than 11.5. I'm going to take Arkansas, give the 11.5. In the other game, I'm going to take Villanova and take the 6 points. Oregon State, good scrappy game here, versus Loyola Chicago. Loyola Chicago by 7. Is Cinderella truly Oregon State? Are they going to continue to win?
I think Oregon State is going to show up and show, they're not just going to squander this opportunity and say Sweet 16, that's where we're at. No, we're going to go to Elite 8, and I'll go with Oregon State with this.
Okay. I look at it this way. This is how I look at it. Loyola Chicago beat a number 1 in Illinois, who was a very good team. Many, many people, as I know many of you did, had Illinois winning it all, had them in the Final Four. Many people did.
I did in one of my brackets.
I did also. I thought Illinois would play better. Loyola Chicago dominated them. They did just not beat them. They dominated them. I think that Loyola Chicago is a lot better than Oregon State by the mere fact that they beat an Illinois who Oregon State is not as good as Illinois. On any given day, I think Illinois will beat Oregon State 10 straight times. So I'm going to take Loyola Chicago and I'm going to give those points. I'm going to give the 7. Who we got next?
Syracuse, Houston -6.
Buddy Ball. Buddy Boeheim. Is he going to continue to shoot like that? Is Houston going to allow that?
They're going to have to stop him.
Calvin Sampson's got something up his sleeve for Buddy Ball.
I think so, but I like Houston. Houston was one of my surprise teams that's going to do their thing, and I'm going to stick with Houston on this one.
I'm right with you. I'm definitely going to go with Houston. I think that, again, we've talked to them about them and Alabama as being 2 teams that we were really watching. I still feel the same way about Houston. Again, they're very athletic. They run the floor well. They play good defense and extremely well coached. But of course, so is Syracuse. Boeheim is a legendary coach. But I'm going to go with Houston too. The big boys, Gonzaga versus Creighton.
I'll go with Gonzaga on this one. 13 points is a lot But
Wow.
I'll take him.
Creighton plays tough, man. I'm going to go with Gonzaga too. I think so. Okay, well here's a game that's interesting because you have family that loves Oregon.
Yeah.
And I love USC. We're going to have a bet party.
Maybe.
USC favored by 1. Oh, what a game!
This is a straight pick 'em, and it's like, how do you ensure that the Pac-12 doesn't go? One more team doesn't go. Is have them play against each other, right?
Yeah, it's a drag to me because the mystery of never playing a team is what I like. A lot of these teams, they didn't prepare for what different things they were going to see in a lot of these games. Oregon and SC have prepared for each other all year long. They have seen each other play other schools. They have played each other. They split when they played each other. Oregon won the outright conference title. SC came in second. Of course, we know who won the tournament, Oregon State. But this is an evenly matched game because they know each other so well. I hate games when teams know each other so well, and it's going to be one break on. It's going to hinge on one small break. If SC continues to play with the way they played, it's going to be tough to beat them. If Oregon continues to play the way they played, they beat Iowa up good. But
they did convincingly.
Convincingly, but we got to remember one thing. So many people felt the Big Ten was going to be right there. There's only one Big Ten team left. They all got eliminated. The Big Ten was not as good and not as ready for tournament play as other conferences. One team left after all those games. Big 12, look how many teams lost. The Kansases, the Texas Techs, the Oklahoma States, the West Virginias.
All gone.
They're on their couch like us watching the game. They're all gone. We got Baylor. I mean, so the Pac-12 might be better than we think it is.
We or you?
Me. I watched them all year long. I watch the Pac-12 more than any conference. And I will tell you this, I didn't think they were that good. And they have really surprised me. And you know what? Bill Walton was right all year. Bill, kudos to you. On all his telecasts on ESPN, he consistently said that Conference of Champions, he loves to call Pac-12 Conference of Champions. The Conference of Champions, this is a great conference. This is the best conference in America. He said it all year long, Bill Walton, all year long. And I think that guy's goofy the way he acts on TV and argues with the host and the way they go back and forth. I'm like, man, he drives me crazy. But he has been the one guy all year that said the Pac-12 is a legit conference. Good for you, Mr. Walton. Great choices. Hope you're making some money on it.
So
not that you need any more.
So with all of that, SC or Oregon?
Of course SC.
All right then.
I mean, 10 years old I was a USC fan. It's never changed.
Okay.
Though they disappoint me in all sports right now, but this is great. They finally, they did my heart good the other night. So I'll take SC. You taking? Who you taking?
I'd go Oregon.
Man, good for you. You got to be true to your brother-in-law. You get in trouble in your household. I get it.
How about
I get it.
Florida State?
I'm going SC. I'm making a big bet on that game.
Florida State, Michigan.
Again, Leonard Hamilton is a great coach. Florida State's coach.
So he's going to out-coach
I think he will out-coach the Michigan coach. I really like him. I don't know if you watch Florida State much. They're very athletic. They're a good team. They've had an okay year, though. Again, a tough conference, the ACC. But I'm gonna hinge this on Leonard Hamilton's ability to get these guys ready and win this game. I'm gonna take Florida.
I'll take Michigan State.
Ooh,
or
we
Michigan.
got a Michigan. Michigan State's long gone.
Yeah.
Michigan State is long gone. They
got knocked out by who?
UCLA. And quickly.
So do you realize? So the next
UCLA.
the next game that we're gonna choose, in order for UCLA to be where they're at right now, they had to play in.
Yeah.
And here they are playing in a team that played to get in the tournament, won that game, and look, they're on the cusp of going to the Elite Eight if they can beat Alabama.
Well,
that's a good season.
I think Alabama is going to be very, very tough for UCLA. UCLA is so athletic. They got that kid, Johnny Juzang, who is an unbelievable player. He left Kentucky and went to UCLA.
Because he wasn't getting playing time, right?
If you get him as open shots, that is a tough team. I think UCLA's problem in this game is they don't have a real presence in the middle. They are not, though they really rebound and work hard together underneath the basket, I just don't think they have enough size to beat Alabama. I don't think they have enough athleticism either. UCLA is a good team, but remember, they beat teams like Michigan State and Abilene Christian that are not good teams. UCLA, give them credit, they're there, but I think UCLA has the easiest path of any team. Michigan State was nothing this year. They were a poor basketball team. Abilene Christian got lucky, in my opinion. You knew UCLA was so much more athletic. So I'm going to take Alabama all day long. And I know you are too.
Yeah, of course. It's a sensible win.
5 points.
It's a sensible pick.
I believe it's the pick of the tournament, the final 16. If I had one major bet where I said, "Oh, this team is definitely going to win,"
all right,
I think it'll be Alabama.
Okay, I'll go with Alabama too. So I want to before we go, I want to talk about the women's side.
Oh, important, imperative.
They're
Enjoy
playing
the tournament.
They are playing so well right now. It's like the good teams are doing what they're supposed to do.
By big numbers, the good teams.
Convincingly.
It's almost boring to watch. It is boring to watch.
The one we had a couple upsets. Like literally, my first round, I missed 3 games.
Yeah.
It's just like the good teams are expecting to win.
I agree with you.
Who do you see down the stretch could give a Stanford or a UConn a run for their money for the championship?
Absolutely, North Carolina State. They've been there all year long. They've been tough. They've been a real good team. South Carolina looks good. Another great team. One of the surprises is playing very, very well. I believe is Maryland is doing really well. I think they're a team to be reckoned with. They're on it right now, and keep your eye on Maryland on the women's side. I think that they were playing Alabama today and beating them big.
Convincingly.
Yeah, and they were favored by 24 though. I mean, the women's side is so lopsided. You look at some of these games. You got your top teams. What do you think about a very exciting game in this next round? Is going to be UConn versus Iowa. The top shooter, the top scorer in NCAA, Caitlin Clark from Iowa versus Paige Beckert from UConn. They played AAU basketball together, and what do you think?
I think
Iowa can beat them or no?
Absolutely. Caitlin is not the best, I guess, the best player in the country, or one of the best player in the country, because she's just on a not necessarily not a good team. No, the team is good itself, and then she's also the leading scorer right now. It's a matter of Gino. How is he going to use his freshmen to stop? Now they need to be mentally capable and ready to be able to defend the ball. Do we expect her to get the 35 points that she's normally getting in this tournament? No. But if they can limit her to 25 and then score themselves and don't do anything, any mental mistakes, I think they can win. Yeah. It's not UConn's to just run away with.
No, there's some good teams in the tournament.
Caitlin Clark is not going to make it easy. No. But back to what you were saying about Michigan or Maryland, I didn't realize that they were that good. And then today, when just seeing the way that they're handling Alabama, I'm like, uh-oh. They might,
Very athletic team.
Yes, very.
They're handling their business.
I like them. I do like Stanford. So when it comes down to the 16, I think the women's is going to be anybody's.
Yeah, when it's all said and done, I mean, for me, I'm looking at, South Carolina, North Carolina State, Stanford, UConn. I mean, those are the better teams, and Maryland's right in there. Michigan's playing very well. They upset Tennessee, which was a big win for them. Big win, and they did it convincingly. So it's going to be fun. I watched the women's. It's just so lopsided. The great teams are great, and I thought we were going to see more of that in the men's, which we didn't. I thought that the teams that were the better 16 were going to dominate, but that really didn't happen.
No, there were a lot more upsets on the male side than you see in the women's side. So
I don't know that there's many brackets that are strong that are still winning. I mean, I'm out of the tournament because of Illinois, and I didn't have the Pac-12, any of them getting in the round of 16. So think about my bracket. Down in flames. It's a lot of fun. Let's continue to enjoy it. I don't bet on the women's side. I can tell you that. Do you? I don't put any coinage on the
No,
women's side.
just when it comes down to like the Final
I enjoy
Four.
watching it.
The Final Four, I'll put some discretionary coin on it.
Yeah. But we got some great games coming up on men and women over the weekend. Enjoy it. Take what we've said here, use it the way you will, enjoy it, have fun. 16 teams left in the men's is pretty good teams. I think it's going to be exciting. I don't think you're going to see any blowouts here, but enjoy it. Let us know what you think. Continue to like our shows. Watch us at YouTube, Roku, WWDBTV. Have a great week ahead. Enjoy the game starting on Saturday, and good luck.
He's Rick. I'm Jack. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Jack, Rick. Neither one of us know what we're talking about, but we have fun. Talk soon.